Of this beautiful arena, the Hard Rock Live. I mean, the truss behind us, you may hear a lot of noises and poundings, but just ignore that.
Yeah, just ignore it. There's going to be a lot of noises and pounding tomorrow night for Knucklemania 2 with Bare Knuckle, and if you've never seen a Bare Knuckle show, it truly is an experience and something you definitely don't want to miss. Of course, you can catch it right here on Fight TV. Get your orders in right now. Of course, we're going to be sweetening it as we go here, talking to some of the fighters, talking to some of the personalities that make up Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Of course, everybody's talking about the debut of Mike Perry, right?
Absolutely.
Everywhere this guy goes, he makes news.
Yes,
you just can't help but to look at the guy, right? He is instant
knows,
box office, right?
The guy knows how to work a press conference, I'll tell you that. And not only, the last time people might have seen him, if they're fight fans and fight watchers, was on Triad Combat.
Indeed.
And he won his match there.
Yeah.
And, of course, he has his UFC background and, social media allure, I guess.
Well, and Julian Lane as well. I mean, this is a guy that from his inception into this sport and how everybody knew him initially was from The Ultimate Fighter and the Let Me Bang. Now he's embraced it, Some guys wouldn't embrace that. He's embraced it. It's all over his T-shirts. It's his nickname. He loves it, and we couldn't love him any more for it. But that matchup, it all got started when they caught each other at the commentary booth and started throwing down. It doesn't get any more personal than that.
Exactly. And then there's the whole mouth guard controversy.
Mouth guard gate. Yeah, right? I heard the questions coming in for that for my guy Christopher James. But, folks, listen, we are so excited about this. And it's not just that. 2 world titles are on the line. On top of that, the first women's bare knuckle fighting championship world title. Now, the Police Gazette title's been out there, but this is the first BKFC title. Britain Hart, Christine Faria. What a matchup that is. They've been talking a lot, too, and they were once friends, and now things have gone very sour.
Well, when you get in the squared circle, you maybe your friendship changes a bit. And Faria said at the press conference that, she was going to retire Britain.
Wow.
So those have been fight words.
Yes. And Luis Palomino, we know what this guy's track record is as champion. Absolutely incredible. Taking on Martin Trey Brown. They got heated in the in fact, that whole press conference was heated.
Yes.
They didn't need to stoke the flames. They were already burning hot.
They were there.
100%. But Luis Palomino has been relatively untouchable lately. I mean, just looking absolutely on top of his game.
Yep.
Martin Brown ready to unseat him and take that championship. He's certainly up for the task. Chad Mendez.
Yeah,
wow.
I got some big names.
No, and I have a feeling they're only going to get bigger and bigger as we go here with BKFC. So. I mean, they signed Cyrus Fees. I mean, that's kind of
Well,
big.
there you go.
That's something.
I mean, you need to talk about your role, too.
Well, yeah. Well, sure. I'm serving as host. So it was the role that was once inhabited by Ron Kruk, a good friend of mine, fantastic broadcaster. I'm so excited to take that spot and run with it. I love it. I've been in this sport for a while, but being with BKFC was a goal of mine. Ever since I saw the first one, doing the FITE In Focus for Ostovich versus Van Zandt, I was like, man, I need to be a part of this somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So I started putting my bug in the ear, and then before you know it, the spot opened up. So I'm happy to be there and to join an incredible broadcast team, including the one and only Sean Wheelock, who is right to my right as we speak, right off screen here. And he knows how to talk. He knows how to talk. He can fill some time for sure. So I say, Kim, we're going to take a break from you. We're going to bring in Sean Wheelock and let him take it away.
Okay.
I may just let him sit here by himself, and he may just go for 10, 15 minutes.
All right. That sounds great.
Don't go anywhere. FITE In Focus, Knucklemania 2, right here in Hollywood, Florida.
The biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Britain Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendez makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Fames. Saturday, February 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we join viewers from around the world, Lin Noi Promotions present Muay Thai for Life. You're the big, make some noise! You're okay, I'm okay.
biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Britain Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendez makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Fames. Saturday, February 19th.
And welcome back to Hollywood, Florida, here at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. This is Hard Rock Live, this beautiful arena here. And tomorrow night, it is going to serve as the spot, of course, for Knucklemania number 2. It seemed like it wasn't too long ago that there was Knucklemania 1. That made a lot of headlines. I'm here with Sean Wheelock, of course, our head commentator and play-by-play man for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Been here since the beginning, I might add. So you've watched the evolution of this, and it really is quite impressive from where it's been to what it was regarded as early on to what it is now, and the people that have attached their name to it and the credibility that has come with it. It's pretty awesome to see.
It is, and first off, Cyrus, I'm so happy that you're with our commentary team
so
on
much,
behalf of Chris Lights Out Lytle.
We've been trying to work together for a long time, right?
We did do one ill-fated show at the Celebrity Theater.
We did, the one that will remain nameless.
Where we had 5 fights and 3 ring announcers.
Because that's what you need. You must have that. Yeah, that was
2 play-by-play guys.
That's enough for a podcast by itself, for sure.
No,
right?
on behalf of Chris and Jeff Houston, our ring announcer, I'm so happy that you're with us, man. I mean that genuinely as a friend.
Thank you so much.
This organization is spectacular. I started working with David Feldman in the summer of 2016. I was put together by a mutual friend. He thought that he had a green light for a Native American casino.
Yeah.
We were going to do a show. That show fell through, but then Dave found out about what I do in my parallel career, which is on the regulatory side.
Sure.
We started talking about, well, we can look at these different states, these different commissions. This is something I work a lot in. And we formed a relationship, started working as a consultant with the understanding it would morph into the play-by-play role, which came to fruition June 2nd, 2018. You know, I'm
down to the date.
Cheyenne, Wyoming. You know, I've done hundreds of shows and thousands of fights, and there are a few that really remain with me where I can remember very specific details.
Of course,
that's one of those shows. And Cyrus, you know, a lot of people know my great relationship. He's like a dad to me, Art Davie, the creator of the UFC.
Yes.
And the stories from Art, from John McCarthy, who was there, although he didn't referee, he was a training partner for Hoist Gracie. The fighters who I met on that show, like Zane Frazier and Ken Shamrock, the late Pat Smith, Art Jemerson, talking about what are we getting ourselves into? And there was a camaraderie rather than a rivalry because we were all these different people thrown together with something unexpected. I felt like I experienced a taste of that at BKFC 1. I have never in my career seen such camaraderie with the fighters. People were talking like, even opponents, how are you training? What did you do for your hand? Oh, I was sparring in MMA gloves. Oh, I used 16s. Oh, I used 12-ounce gloves. Oh, I was going actually bare knuckle. Oh, I was putting my hand in rice. I was putting my hand in sand. It was all of that camaraderie. Chris Lights Out Lytle is going to be your guest next.
Yeah.
He fought on BKFC 2.
Yep.
It was so cool because I was such a huge fan of Chris, as I think everybody is, and I got to commentate.
The walking fight of the night.
Now he's become one of my closest friends and the best broadcast partner I've ever had. So cool how this business has worked.
He's celebrating. He's celebrating. He wins again.
Chris, you now have to say nice things about me when you're in this chair. But the evolution of this sport, Chris seeing it as a fighter from BKFC 2 and started commentating with me on BKFC 5. So he has literally been here since just about the beginning of this. The evolution, the arc. Something Cyrus, Chris, and I talk a lot about is how just like in the early days of MMA, fighters were figuring things out. What works, what doesn't work. You're not seeing a lot of huge full power swings. You're seeing a lot more punches to what the fighters say are the soft parts of the body. So instead of aiming up here, you're aiming down here. Uppercuts to the sternum, punches to the shoulders, things that you wouldn't see in traditional combat sports are becoming key punches in bare knuckle.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And you're seeing fighters that even maybe didn't have the most successful MMA career, or even the boxing career, they've transferred over here and they've made it their own and they've excelled.
Yeah.
You know, you're absolutely right. And when you look at this card, I mean, it's like mouth-watering. When you look up and down this card, it's absolutely insane. Even on the prelims, there are some really special fights out there that I'm excited about. But talking about that main card, I love the Bret Hart and Christine Faria.
Well,
I love this matchup.
And that goes to what you're talking
And
about.
it's a good rematch, by the way.
What we've found in bare knuckle, specifically in this great promotion, BKFC, is that success in one combat sport does not guarantee success in another.
Absolutely.
I think about Michael Jordan when he was playing Double-A baseball in Birmingham, Alabama.
The Barons.
He looked lost for the Barons. He looked lost in the outfield, the most graceful, elegant basketball player of the era, maybe of all time. And he looked like an 8-year-old trying to find a fly ball.
Yeah.
One thing does not directly translate. There have been 4 legitimate major organization world champions who have fought in bare knuckle. They have 1 win.
Yeah.
It does not transfer. You can be great in the
That's
UFC, and you can wash out. You can be great in UFC, and it works out here. You talk about Bret Hart. I commentated Bret Hart on boxing. Against Jamie Mitchell. She was brought in as the B-side. She was brought in to lose. It was a draw.
Yep.
I thought she won. But Bret Hart was someone who was cast in boxing as a B-side fighter.
Sure.
She went 0-2 in bare knuckle. She, as the kids would say, flipped the script.
She has.
And she's won 4 straight fights, and now she's fighting for a world title. Christine Faria was 1-2 in MMA, and she has been absolutely dominant. So some fighters have come in, like Chris Lytle, who went 3-0 overall in bare knuckle, 2-0 in BKFC. His success translated, but Chris will tell you he knew that he just couldn't fight like an MMA fighter. He had to figure out bare knuckle, and he did. That's what we've seen with Christine Faria.
You have to fully commit to it, right? You have to fully commit to the style, to the sport, everything that it is. And I think I heard one part of the press conference, and they said, you know, we're going to go do bare knuckle. Hell no.
Right.
You know, I mean, so many guys they just wouldn't even think of stepping in there. They'll step into a cage with 4 ounce. But when you take the gloves away, it's just something different, and you have to commit to it.
What we've found is that, and Chris can talk about this first person, I'll talk about it second person, but what we've heard repeatedly from the MMA fighters is that getting hit feels very similar to an MMA glove. The difference is when you're landing the punches, that's what feels a lot different, and you have to change the speed, change the direction. Bobby Gunn, who's kind of seen as the founding father of the revival of bare knuckle when it was underground, he fought on BKFC 1. And I remember he told me, I have never thrown a punch in bare knuckle harder than 40%. Yeah. You know, he was a minor title cruiserweight world champion in gloved boxing. So he said, in that sport, I threw full power. Bare knuckle, I had to throw 40%. That's what fighters are figuring out.
Yeah.
What we found too, Cyrus, is that the fighters who come in with the attitude, especially those who have had success in boxing, MMA, or kickboxing, and said, yeah, I've really not done anything different in my training, it doesn't go well for them.
Yeah.
We've heard that for whatever reason more from the boxers than from the MMA fighters.
Do you feel like, I mean to interrupt, but circling back to what we're doing tomorrow with Chad Mendez, he's alluded to, well, I've always trained boxing, I've always trained stand-up. How do you think he's changed his game plan, and do you think that could be a problem for him?
So Chad Mendez, obviously a great fighter,
Absolutely.
dominant fighter, and an incredibly smart, articulate person. When Chris Lytle and I did our fighter meeting with him yesterday, as we do for every fighter on the card, so one of 24 yesterday, he talked about how he changed up his training. Something that he said, which we hear from a lot of high-level MMA fighters, those who come from the UFC or from Bellator, have said, this is easier on my body. This is a brutal sport, but it's easier on my body. Because, as Mendez said, I'm just working on my boxing and working on the clinch. Yeah. I'm not doing wrestling. I'm not doing jiu-jitsu. I'm not getting thrown. I'm not working off my back. I can focus on this.
Focusing, specializing.
So while the sport is very difficult, very brutal, the training has been refreshing. Chad Mendez gets it. Chad Mendez understands that whatever success he had in the UFC, and it was huge success, he fought for 3 different titles in the UFC, 2 full titles and an interim title. That means nothing if you don't prepare for bare knuckle. And that's what Chad Mendez has brought. But knowing Chad Mendez, you would expect nothing else but that type of open-minded, first-class attitude, saying, this is a new challenge. I have to change things up to be successful in this new sport.
Are there any, when you look up and down the card, are there any surprises that you could see? Maybe some guys that are coming in as the underdog, girls coming in as an underdog that may surprise somebody?
Well, so I know him because we've commentated him twice, but Chad Mendez's opponent is Fames. His real name is Joshua Alvarez.
Yeah.
So when we saw on the first card Fames, we're like, who is this Fames guy? Or is it Famez? We had not heard of him. He's a successful recording artist.
Yeah.
And he won his first fight. It was actually in this venue last summer. And I said on the commentary, in an era when there are so many wannabes who come out of the entertainment industry, pretend that they're fighters, this is someone who's a real fighter who just happens to also be a very successful musician.
Yeah.
Josh Alvarez is 4-0 with 4 knockouts in boxing. He's had 2 bare-knuckle fights. So I think maybe to people who aren't super deep into this, they say Chad Mendez against a guy with his stage name who's an R&B singer. It's a squash. Mendez might win. Fames might win. I'm not in the prediction business. What I can tell you, though, is that it's not a squash, is that for Chad Mendez to win, he's going to have to fight a very smart inside fight because Fames, Joshua Alvarez, knows how to box. He has 2 fights of bare-knuckle experience. That speaks, Cyrus, to the larger thing of bare knuckle. There are no squashes. There are no easy landings. There's no A-side, B-side. Look at Knucklemania last year. Who did Paige Van Zandt get? She got Britton Hart.
She sure
and
did.
She was beaten unanimous decision by Britton Hart.
Yep.
No one has ever come into bare knuckle. It doesn't matter who they are. They get an easy landing. Paulie Malignaggi, he gets Artem Lobov, and he's beaten. Can you imagine another organization with the opportunity of Paulie Malignaggi?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a 2-division legit world champion. Oh, we're going to give him a 2-18 squash. Not in this promotion. No squashes for Mike Perry.
Turns everything
no
on its head.
Right. No squashes for Mike Perry. No squashes for Chad Mendez. No squashes for anybody.
You know, that main event with Mike Perry, obviously we saw the press conference, we saw the theatrics. By the way, guys, tomorrow night, Knucklemania, if you haven't ordered yet, I mean, now's the time to make that happen. You get it right here on FITE. Mike Perry, Julian Lane. Julian Lane has always been a warrior. I mean, all throughout his career. We remember, you know, some of the classics that he's had here at BKFC. Then Mike Perry makes this transition. He's kind of made it clear that he's here to make a check, you know. He's also training hard, but he's here because they gave me that check. You know what I mean? And do you feel like Mike Perry might be underestimating a little bit what he's getting into?
I do not at all. And even though Mike Perry says he's motivated by money, it doesn't mean that he's just here for a payday to lie down. Mike Perry is 30 years old. I'm not even sure if he's hit the prime of his career.
Yeah.
I think Mike Perry is fantastic. I first met him on a Chael Sonnen submission underground grappling event that I commentated, and I knew his reputation. I thought, wow, what a really cool guy. What a total professional. He went against L.A.
I've heard the same thing.
And he beat him, and I thought, what a cool guy. And we exchanged phone numbers. I worked with him on Triller Triad and against Michael Seals, who was a 28-3 pro boxer. And Mike Perry won.
Yep.
Now he's in against Julian Lane, who has 9 fights of bare-knuckle experience.
There's a chip on his shoulder. There's a chip on his shoulder, yeah.
So even though Mike Perry can tell you he's driven by money, it doesn't mean that he is not driven also for success. This is going to be a great fight. 2 very similar styles. So often in promotions, which will be unnamed, one of which I commentated for 5.5 years, including at this venue a number of times.
I think I know what you're talking about.
They manufacture heat. This promotion doesn't manufacture heat. We'll talk about that on the broadcast. If there's animosity, we're going to highlight that. If there's not, we're not going to. We're going to say that they're friends or former training partners, or it's all respect.
Yeah.
There's genuine heat between Mike Perry and Julian Lane. They're professionals. They're going to go out hard to win, but the 2 of them really don't like each other. You saw that at the press conference.
So
yesterday.
so 6:30, right, for the first prelim fight, right?
Yeah, 6:30 Eastern time,
Don't want to
3:30
miss
Pacific,
this.
U.S. Canadian time.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, up and down the prelims, there's a lot of fun fights as well. Look up and down this card. You're going to be amazed, and the main card will absolutely speak for itself. You don't want to miss it. Knucklemania 2, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I'll be there in the host role. I promise I'll be dressed better. I came straight,
look at me. Look at me.
Straight off the road. This is Sean Willock. You'll hear him and Chris Lytle. Hear Jeff Houston inside of that squared circle, and you'll see me as well. You don't want to miss it. Order now right here on FITE. We'll be back with more FITE In Focus.
Senshi. The battles between the best continue. Fighters from all around the world will compete under the KWU Full Contact and KWU Senshi rules. More than 20 combat sports champions will fight in the one-of-a-kind glamorous gala fight night, Senshi. Witness the exciting clashes live on FITE, Max Sport 1, or online at senshi.com, boes.bg, boes.com, kwunion.com, and Kyokushin Karate News. And live on Bulgaria On Air TV. February 26th, 1 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. EET. Senshi, Clash of the Titans.
The biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Bret Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendez makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Fames. Saturday, February 19th.
And welcome back to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. The Hard Rock Live is going to be the site for Knucklemania number 2 tomorrow night, starting at 6:30 with the prelims. Main card's going to be absolute bananas, headlined, of course, by Platinum Mike Perry, making his debut on the night, as well as Chad Money Mendez, and very much more. 2 huge title fights. Very excited about that. Sitting next to me, a guy I'm always excited to see. I call him the walking fight of the night, man. He's awesome. Chris, Lights Out Lytle. Chris, how are you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Excited to be here.
You got that fight week feeling yet?
Oh, yeah. That's what I love about coming here, especially. I mean, look at this place. This is a beautiful venue. It's huge. It's going to be sold out. Unbelievable where we've came. Doesn't surprise me, though. Knucklemania 2, you saw the first Knucklemania.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and this card is about as good as anything we've ever put on, so what do you expect?
Pulling out all the stops. Am I right? Pulling out all the stops.
I mean, usually you get a card, you look at it, you're like, this fight looks good, this fight looks good, and then you look at this one, you're like, man, I'm not really seeing too many that I'm not excited about. You know, it's good when you know everybody on the card.
No, 100%. And this one, like I said, pulled out all the stops. Let's get into the title fights a little bit, because I think we've talked a little bit about these debuts that are coming, but I'm really excited to see Luis Palomino. Me personally, I'm just excited to see him in person fighting bare knuckle, man. He has had this revitalization. He's been incredible inside the squared circle. What do you make of this matchup with him and Martin Trey Brown?
Well, like you said, Palomino, to me, I think last year I said was probably Fighter of the Year. I mean, this guy came out and he's annihilated people, good fighters. You thought, man, he just walked through them. And then against really good guys, he's so I can box too. I can fight. I can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And when inside, I can win outside. I'm a strong competitor, and he's hungry. You could tell whatever happened to him in his past, fight career, this was his time to make it all right, and he's done that. That being said, Martin Trey Brown is a problem for anybody. He's really big for the weight class. He's really skilled. I think he's undervalued, underappreciated.
Sure.
He's a tough fight for anybody. I'm not even going to make a prediction for that fight. Usually I can tell you who I think. I don't usually do it on a show like this, but I can't even predict it no matter what.
I'll tell you who exudes confidence is Christine Faria.
She
it's a foregone conclusion, right? That she's got this thing in the bag. She's going to retire Bret Hart. They were close. They were friends. This is a rematch. Obviously, that was a long time ago for Bret Hart in her game, a long time ago for Christine Faria. When you look at this rematch coming together, what Bret Hart has shown us in the last calendar year, what she's capable of, do you feel like the tide has swung a little bit? Do you feel like maybe it's Britain's time now?
Well, I know the tide has definitely swung for Bret Hart. For example, before they brought her in as a B-side fighter. In her head, she was a B-side fighter because she was. But when that switch flipped and she's not a B-side fighter anymore, she believes she's going to win with all her heart, and she just – that last fight that she had, I mean, she just won that on determination and will. That she wasn't as big or as strong, but she just came through. She's a dog. She's in every fight, and she's going to be in this fight. But that being said, I don't know if it's flipped enough to go over to Christine Faria. She's been as good as anybody we had in here at any level, and she's just a beast. So that has nothing besides Fight of the Year written all over it to me. I think both these girls are hitting on all cylinders right now, and that's what you want for a fight like that, a title fight. It's not just about physically; it's about their mental state and their belief. And they don't even think the other person should be in the ring with them. You know, that's the funny thing. They think that they are so much better than the other person. It's unreal. That's when you get a great fight.
How do you like Fames' shot against Chad Mendes?
Man, you know what?
Because we just talked to Sean, and Sean feels real good about
I was
Fames.
going to say, going into this, I said, they're just throwing Fames in. But he feels seriously slighted. You can just tell the look on his face. He's mad.
Yeah.
He's not happy about it.
Chip on his shoulder.
Yes, 100%. He believes he's going to go out there and dominate, And I think he feels by hearing Sean's, or by hearing, whatever Mendes is saying, that he's like, man, he's not confident. He's telling me this, like, the way he's answering these questions, he already has his 1 foot out the door, which is an interesting take. Is he right? I don't know, but he believes it. And like I said,
I can see that.
You always like it when you have these guys, and when he's feels like nobody's giving him the respect he deserves, that's when you go out and fight hard.
Do you feel like with Mendes, it seems like he has like the most laid back approach to this whole situation, right? Every interview I've heard, the Road to Knucklemania, you see it on YouTube, see it on the app. But then also with the press conference, he's like, man, I'm just kind of happy to be here.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you feel like he's taking it lightly just from afar, just looking at it? Because to me, it kind of seems like that. Like he's out here to have fun, and it's like, this ain't nothing to have fun with.
No, but
this ain't nothing to have fun with.
Here's the weird thing, and that each individual is different. And I've seen some guys who look just like they couldn't care less, and they fight just as hard.
When it comes down to business, they get down
and
to
I think
business.
that's Chad Mendes. I don't think he has 1 foot out the door, and I don't think he's ready to pack it in. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. I think he's going to come. And he's got a lot of tools that he can be very good at this in many different ways. And I think it's going to be. I think he's going to figure it out real quick. I could be wrong, but
were you the one that snuck the bat in to Mike Perry? That's the real question.
Of course, man. Yeah. Matt's got to have a bat. I mean, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike needed a bat. I don't care if it's made out of plastic or whatever.
Apart.
Yes, if it wasn't real, but it looked good. No, I didn't know that was happening. I thought it was hilarious. Like, what is going on over there, man? You always have some good shenanigans going on. People picking up a belt, breaking over the table, or whatever, or bringing out fake bats. You just got to watch these press conferences. You never know what's going to happen. So the weigh-ins too. The weigh-ins, something's going to happen. I promise.
Oh, I have no doubt. Please tune in for the weigh-ins. You don't want to miss it. It'll be free. But give me a fight from the undercard that really could stick out. Like when you looked at it, and you and Sean talked about it, had your meetings, you're like, oh damn, that's going to be a fight.
Man, there's so many that really stick out to me. But I don't know what it is, but something about this organization. The 125-pound females have stole the show every single time. I feel like.
Yeah.
And you got that Jay Marcel Wong, and she's going Vicens. I mean.
Yeah.
That has fireworks written all over. I mean, it's good enough to me where, anybody with the lighter weights, they usually don't have quite the knockout power, but they have good accuracy and they have a good chin. So they're just good fights. And I would not be surprised if that's when you're like, man, they're going to steal the show.
I thought Tomlinson and Escoboza sounded really interesting because Escoboza is undefeated in bare knuckle in a different organization, but that dude he's a beast. I know Tom. He's actually right up the road from where I live, so I know him and his family. And man, they've always stepped up to the plate. I love that fight.
I love the fight, but if you, in my opinion, that's one. If I'm betting on any of these and not go the distance, is that one. Somebody's getting knocked out in that fight. That's my prediction right there. Like the females, I think are going to go the distance. But if you want a guaranteed, I'm not going to tell you who's going to win because I want to look stupid, but because I don't know. But I think somebody's going down. That's my guarantee for that fight.
Wow, no, it's going to be amazing. And you know what, folks? It has been a pleasure, Chris. We can't wait for tomorrow night, and I don't think you need any more reason to get signed up to watch this show tomorrow night. It is so exciting. 2-minute rounds, 5 2-minute rounds every fight. It moves very, very quickly. So if you're on the fence and you're just not sure, let me tell you, it is going to take your breath away. Awesome stuff. Knucklemania 2 right here on FITE, Seminole Hard Rock Casino, live here from Hollywood, Florida. Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Appreciate it, man. Like you were saying, though, I've never seen anybody I said, watch this fight, and they didn't watch the next one, because once you watch it once, you're going to love it.
You're hooked. That's it. And now we are going to shoot it over to an interview from our man, the Schmo, standing by with David Feldman. So let's go to that interview right now, and we'll be back with more FITE In Focus.
This is the Schmo with the Pro, with the president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Mr. Dave Feldman in the flesh. Just finished up the Knucklemania 2 press conference. How we doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, man. It was lit. It was a lot of fireworks. I expected to be an unbelievable card Saturday night.
Hey, the Schmo saw you jump right in there when Mike Perry pulled out the plastic bat when he was feuding with Julian Lane, man. Can you get a better promotion than those two going at it, man? The beef is real.
No, it's great. The good thing is when you don't have to manufacture it, and it's real beef. It's real beef there. It's real beef with the girls. So I think it's going to end up being a really, really great night.
Yeah, but obviously seeing what you saw during the broadcast when Mike Perry went after Julian Lane, what was the initial instinct when you saw him pull out the plastic bat?
Man, I didn't know it was plastic at first. I was like, is this guy sick in the head, man? But it was plastic, and it worked, and, good promo.
And then what do you make of the matchup? You got Chad Mendes making his debut in bare knuckle. Obviously, he's got the accolades in mixed martial arts and in wrestling against Baines, and we all know his musical background.
Yeah, well, you know what? These guys are getting paid well to come over here, so they're not getting fed fish. They have to fight. Paige had to fight. Chad Mendes has to fight. Mike Perry has to fight. If they're going to fight for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, they're going to be in a real fight, and we're going to see if they're good enough to continue in this organization.
And the man holding the gold strap at 155 pounds, Luis Palomino, what makes him such a great champion and a representation of this sport and the legitimacy of the sport moving forward?
He never says no to an opponent. He never asks really who it is. He just asks how much it is, and that's okay because you're supposed to it's prize fighting, right? You get paid to fight. So he'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, and he's learning the craft really well. So he's a great guy to be at the top of this organization.
Now, where does Knucklemania 2 stack up amongst all the fight cards that you've had so far in this organization?
Well, I'm going to say it's probably the biggest card that we've ever put together to date. It's not going to be the biggest card we ever put together because 2022 is going to be sick for us. 8 different countries, 22 different states. We're rocking this year. It's going to be awesome.
It's come a long way. The Schmo remembers the inception, what was going on in 2018, and now look where we are. We are going to be selling out the Guitar Hotel here in Hollywood, Florida.
We're on pace right now to be the highest grossing combat sporting event ever at the Hard Rock Casino here, and every name in combat sports has been here, so that's a real feather in our hat.
So what is your final goals here for 2021? I know the year just started, but how would you feel satisfied, Mr. Feldman, for completing this year, 2022?
Just at the end of the year that people say, man, they're a player now. They're really a player. They're not just, there's no more what ifs. There's no more are they going to stick around, really. They're just saying how high can they go. And I think by the end of 2022, we're going to be among the top 6 or 7 combat sports organizations in the entire world.
Final message for all the Dave Feldman fans out there worldwide.
Just if you like combat sports, this is the most exciting, fast-paced combat sport on the planet. It's brutal. It's awesome. These guys come to fight. Check it out. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship at BKFC.com.
He's the Pro. I'm the Schmo here for Knucklemania 2. We're out.
The biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Britain Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendes makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Baines. Saturday, February 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we join viewers from around the world, Illinois Promotions present Muay Thai for Life. You're the big, make some noise! You're okay.
Senshi. The battles between the best continue. Fighters from all around the world will compete under the KWU Full Contact and KWU Senshi rules. More than 20 combat sports champions will fight in the one-of-a-kind glamorous gala fight night, Senshi. Witness the exciting clashes live on FITE, Max Sport 1, or online at senshi.com, boes.bg, boes.com, kwunion.com, and Kyokushin Karate News. And live on Bulgaria On Air TV. February 26th, 1 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. EET. Senshi, Clash of the Titans.
And welcome back to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino here in Hollywood, Florida, as it is us getting ready, FITE In Focus for Knucklemania 2, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. It all goes down tomorrow night. You can get it on FITE. Prelims start at 6:30. You've seen the card. It's absolutely insane, and I'm excited to be sitting next to the new media guy on the block, man, the new media sensation, the Schmo. You see him everywhere. Schmo, welcome to FITE In Focus, my friend.
Cyrus, I appreciate you having the Schmo, and very excited for Knucklemania 2. They're setting everything up behind us right now.
It's absolutely incredible, man. They're pulling out all the stops, and Knucklemania 1 was awesome. Of course, they had to up the ante a little bit with Knucklemania 2. This card is sick. Mike Perry by himself just brings such an audience, and him and Julian Lane have been just going nuts.
Absolutely. Obviously, we've seen Julian Lane from The Ultimate Fighter. I feel like when we look at Mike Perry, he might be like a younger version of Julian Lane. Maybe Julian Lane sees a little bit of Mike Perry in himself, and that's why he was chomping at the bit to have this fight in the first place. You know, he rushed him at the live broadcast at an event. He baited him. He got him to take this fight, and sure enough, we're seeing Platinum Perry in his first BKFC fight headlining.
Yeah, it's something special, man. It really is. And Mike Perry, of course, did the Triad Combat, comes out on top, comes over here, feels very, very confident. Julian Lane looking to welcome him into BKFC and obviously derail that hype train. Now, we just heard from your interview that you had with David Feldman. This guy's a trailblazer, just taking BKFC to the next level, but you actually hooked up with a lot of the fighters around here, and you can find all those interviews on our social media with FITE. Just find us on everything: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know if we're on Tinder. I don't know. Are we on Tinder? Do you know?
Might be on Tinder.
We could be on Tinder. Swipe left or what's right? Or right? I don't know.
Swipe
I've been
right.
married. I've been married for so long, I don't even know which way to swipe. I have no idea. All right, Schmo, what was your favorite interview out of them all? What kind of blew you away when you talked to these guys and girls?
It's got to be Martin Brown, because obviously he's fighting for the championship
It's
against Palomino, and he's got all the confidence in the world, rightfully so. But Martin Brown was cracking jokes with the Schmo. He's talking about what he would do holding the gold strap. He's even gone as far as saying he'd take a dump. He'd bring it to the toilet with him to celebrate. A little too much information, but he revealed that on camera.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Did you have a chance to talk to the girls?
Of course.
Okay.
Written Heart 7.0.
Yes,
I mean, how did we get so high? It was 3.0, 4.0, 6.0. How did we get to 7.0?
I don't know, but she's there. She's there. They just keep on pushing updates is what they do. And Britton Hart is looking better than ever. Christine Ferreira, they have epic nuclear heat right now.
Now, Christine Ferreira, she's no short of confidence either. She gave the Schmo her Mount Rushmore, her top 4 fighters that she would want to fight. And she wasn't shy in some of those names.
Okay,
she talked about Amanda Serrano welcoming her to bare knuckle. She'd fight her.
That'd be something to see.
Obviously, she's got to get through Katie Taylor first at MSG April 30th, but she brought up her name. She brought up Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
I mean, she was pulling out all the stops. She wants to show that she's the baddest female on the planet, and obviously, she's got an opportunity to do that against Britton Hart, who she's already beaten. I believe it was bare knuckle 5 at the event, so this is a rematch.
Yeah, well done, well done. It is definitely a rematch. It is big, and Britain Hart looking to even the score. Britain Hart's changed her whole career around, right? I mean, total 180 from where she was at. She has fallen in love with bare knuckle, embraced it, and now she just really wants that title. I feel like she has a lot of momentum right now. It may be too much for Freya.
And she was very calm at the press conference, for her standards, by the way, too.
For sure.
And you
she
know,
gets riled up
yeah.
easily.
And she was not riled up at the press conference, too. You know, she was standing her ground, she was calm, and she had that confident aura behind her, and that can't be unnoticed going into this fight Saturday evening.
So, do you ever do the Schmo picks? Like, do you do picks?
Actually, the Schmo does picks, but we actually have to wait, Cyrus, till they weigh in, because sometimes you got pick going and they miss the weight and they don't look confident on the scale. They don't rehydrate well. The Schmo likes to make his picks after they weigh in, which we will see here coming up shortly.
Yeah, you absolutely will. So keep it right here directly after the Fight in Focus. We're going to roll right in to the Knucklemania 2 weigh-ins. And just like Sean Wheelock said, Chris Lytle said, you're saying the weigh-ins are always insane for bare knuckle. They kind of take it to the next level. Like everything, they just take it to 11 for sure.
Absolutely. No shortage of personalities here, because in this sport, very unique in itself. You got people of all different backgrounds, because you got coming from just traditional boxing, and obviously you got the crossover from MMA. And there's always great personalities there. You even brought up one in Mike Perry and Julian Lane too. I mean, when you got the mix of different backgrounds, and Chad Mendes, he's fighting for the first time since what? UFC 232 in December 2018, since he lost to the now champion of the featherweight division in the UFC, Alexander Volkanovski. Very excited to see him. Obviously, he's got the wrestling background against Fames. The Schmo learned yesterday, by the way, it's Fames, not Fame Is. He corrected us in the interview, rightfully so.
You called him Famous?
I called him Fame Is. He puts a Z.
Oh, gosh, you just killed your cred right there, calling him Famous. My goodness. Well, Schmo, we're excited about this, and anybody that's out there, I'll just throw it to you. I'll let you take over. You're good on the mic, good on the stick. How would you sell it right now? Why do they need to get Knucklemania 2 tomorrow right here on Fight?
Well, as Dave Feldman said to the Schmo yesterday in the interview, this is going to be the highest grossing gate right here in this venue for Hard Rock. I mean, look at the names you are bringing over here. You got MMA stars. You got prominent boxers coming here for Knucklemania 2. We got a belt on the line in the female division. It doesn't get more exciting than the athletes that are going to come and compete right now. And listen, you can dodge some bullets here when it comes to boxing. The gloves are a little bit thicker here, but you can't get out of the way. These are 2-minute fast lightning rounds here that you're going to meet in the middle and you're going to bang. There's going to be cuts, there's going to be gore, there's going to be blood, but best of all, there's going to be action. No dull schmoments, as we like to say, Cyrus.
That's exactly what we like to say. Order it right now. Go on Fight. Make the order. Tomorrow night, it all happens. It all starts at 6:30, and you want to see the undercard too. I know there's a lot of shows. You might just tune in for the main. Watch the whole thing, because there is going to be some absolute bangers. You want to step in.
Yeah, Uli Monster, the fastest knockout ever. 7 seconds. He's on the undercard.
Yep, that's it. There you go. I mean, there's a lot. Francesco Ricci as well. I mean, just names. Go ahead.
Yep. The Schmo messed up. We said 7 seconds. It was 3 seconds.
Yeah, see? There we go. And you don't mess up. That's crazy.
It happens.
Schmo, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. This is Fight in Focus. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. More live here from Knucklemania 2 weigh-ins.
The biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Britain Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendes makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Fames. Saturday, February 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we join viewers from around the world, Lin Noi Promotions present Muay Thai for Life. You're the big, make some noise!
Senshi. The battles between the best continue. Fighters from all around the world will compete under the KWU Full Contact and KWU Senshi rules. More than 20 combat sports champions will fight in the one-of-a-kind glamorous gala fight night, Senshi. Witness the exciting clashes live on FITE, Max Sport 1, or online at senshi.com, boes.bg, boes.com, kwunion.com, and Kyokushin Karate News. And live on Bulgaria On Air TV. February 26th, 1 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. EET.
And welcome back to the Seminole Hard Rock here in Hollywood, Florida, as we are getting ready for the weigh-ins for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships Knucklemania 2 event, which goes down tomorrow. If you haven't ordered, what are you waiting on? We're going to give you details on how to watch. You can get it pretty much everywhere. I might be able to get it on my Samsung watch. I'm not sure. I think it's there. I am standing by here with the announcer, of course, of the Squared Circle, Mr. Live Worldwide, the one and only Jeff Houston. Jeff, how are you, my friend?
Cyrus Papyrus. It's always a good day when we're our paths cross, my friend, man. Knucklemania 2, baby.
Well, it's crazy, as an aside, we've known each other for a long time, both ring announcers, both in this game for a minute, and we've never had our paths cross, and finally it happens here. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Hey, it's all good in the neighborhood, my friend.
It certainly is. Well, man, you definitely set the tone for these fights for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Your voice is synonymous with the brand. Knucklemania 1 was a big milestone. Knucklemania 2, I kind of feel like it's going to blow it out of the water. I mean, when I look up and down this card, I'm so excited for this show. It's going to be great.
Well, 1 year ago, we advertised it as the biggest bare knuckle extravaganza of all time, and we did not disappoint as everybody who watched Knucklemania 1. But you'd think that not only did we add to this, but we multiplied it, and it came out with this incredible card that we've got. Knucklemania 2 here, Hard Rock Live. What a beautiful facility this is. We've already rocked it once, BKFC 18, which was an epic card to begin with, but this one goes so many miles past that.
It really does. Of course, headlined by Platinum Mike Perry, a man that spent a lot of time in the UFC, now is transitioning and is signed here with Bare Knuckle, making his debut. Excited about that matchup with Julian Lane. I got to ask you, as an announcer, one of the things that I really love about ring announcing is connecting with the fighters, and you certainly connect with the fighters. Every time I see you at the weigh-ins, everywhere, backstage, you have a good connection with them. Who's like your favorite fighters to announce for? They kind of give you the most feedback, give you the fist bump, give you all the good stuff. Who's your favorite fighters to announce for?
Every single one of them.
Oh, that's way too diplomatic. Don't play Switzerland right now.
Trust me, I'm not trying to be neutral. It's just I look at the hard facts. They're in there. They're doing something that I couldn't do on my best day. So many people are living vicariously through them, and the very least that they could get for their effort is a world-class announcement. I look forward to every single one of them, Cyrus. I know that's not the answer that you wanted, but that's the answer I'm going to give.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I love announcing for all the fighters as well, and you do a tremendous job with it. Just tell me about, your announce style is you're loud, you're over the top, you embrace it. And Bare Knuckle, it seems like they've let you just do your thing. Do you feel like you kind of have complete freedom when working with Bare Knuckle? Because I know I've worked for a lot of shows, and they're like, I worked for one over the summer that was like, tone it down, tone it way down. And you kind of have to handcuff yourself a little bit. I feel like you don't have those handcuffs here, and that has to be a pretty cool feeling.
Well, the funny thing about it is that, I've come into the tone-down situation before when I do professional boxing, and you would figure that these people who are telling us to tone it down would know as long as we have been doing this in our professions, that we are versatile professionals that know when we have to go over the top and when we have to be conservative. I don't really feel that Dave lets me off the leash here. I think what Dave does is he lets me be me.
Sure.
He lets me be the announcer that I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be over the top. I've seen so many conservative announcers, and I have nothing bad to say anybody who picks up the microphone. It's just this is who I am.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. You are your brand. Now, when you look at the fight cards, you look at some of these past cards that you've done here for Bare Knuckle, are there some moments that kind of stick out with you, some arenas, some moments that stick out for you, maybe a title fight, maybe a main event that just kind of sticks with you when you think about it, that you remember and look fondly upon?
Nothing. And I do mean nothing, in my opinion. I mean, this could change as time progresses with the sport. But as of right now, the one moment that will always be in my head, no matter what happens, no matter how many times I fall, no matter how times I slip, I live on the beach, so it can happen. BKFC 1 will always be number one for me, because it was a situation to where everybody, including Mr. David Feldman, were in unfamiliar territory, unfamiliar waters. And I heard you talking about earlier on the weigh-ins that you never know what to expect. BKFC 1 was the tamest weigh-in I had ever hosted in my entire life, but I think the reason was nobody knew what to expect, so therefore nobody was going to go over the top. But as the sport progressed over the years, our weigh-ins have gotten quite chaotic.
What do you think the ceiling is for BKFC? You know, it's nice that we're on the same team now, and I'm so happy to be in this host role for tomorrow night. It's going to be incredible. What do you think the ceiling is for this company going forward? I mean, we're at the Seminole Hard Rock. We've continued to hit bigger arenas. What do you think the ceiling is?
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. I really don't see a ceiling for this particular sport. The way that we interpret it, the way that we bring it to the world, the fighters that we sign, the effort that goes into it, the innovation that is the squared circle. I remember the first time I stepped in that, that's when I knew that this was going to be different, because I had never seen a fighting platform so different on a debut. Because you know, with a lot of debuts, you see a regular ring, you see a regular cage. This was anything but regular. So with all those factors in, Cyrus, I have to be honest with you, really sky's the limit.
Jeff, I can't help but to agree with you. I can't wait to see where this takes us, where this company goes, and where the sport goes. It is going to be an insane night. Knucklemania 2, tomorrow night. It's going to be right here on FITE. Make the purchase right now. It starts at 6:30 with the prelims, and as I said in the previous interviews, don't miss the prelims. Don't just skip ahead to the main card. You want to see Mike Perry, you want to see Mendez. I totally understand. Watch it all the way through, because you will be amazed. Even if you don't know the fighters, by the time you're done, you are going to love every one of them, because they give it all inside that squared circle. And this man helps them take it to the next level. That's Jeff Houston. I'm Cyrus Feast. FITE In Focus. Stay right here. We got plenty more. And if you were wondering, how do I watch FITE? You know, can I just watch it on my phone? Do I have to go to my laptop? I mean, who wants to even go to their laptop anymore, right? You can watch it a lot of different ways. In fact, we're going to show you right now.
biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Britain Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendez makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Fames. Saturday, February 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we join viewers from around the world, Illinois Promotions present Muay Thai for Life. You're the big, make some noise!
and welcome back to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. This is a Hard Rock Live arena, and as you can see, under construction here, getting ready for the weigh-ins for Knucklemania 2, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. It all happens tomorrow. Prelims start at 6:30. You can purchase right here on FITE. You just saw all the places you can watch it. I don't know if you can watch it on my watch, but you can watch it everywhere else. You can watch FITE anywhere, and make sure you don't miss this event. You'll be kicking yourself if you do. That being said, I'm standing by with the president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, David Feldman. David, it's great to have you here, and I just got to say, it's great to be on the team. I'm on the team now. That's pretty dope. I'm excited for tomorrow.
You were
night.
drafted, Cyrus. You were drafted, man. I love this arena. We were here in June, sold out. We're looking at another sellout crowd, the highest grossing ticketed event of any other combat sport ever here at the Hard Rock Casino. So great accomplishment for myself and the team, and I'm really happy to be back here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What you said there, you can't take that lightly. Anytime you set a record, that's pretty sick. Is that one of those kind of like pinch me moments, like another one of those moments like, oh, shit, really? Like we just number one.
We'll enjoy it. I'll enjoy it on Sunday.
Of
man.
course.
Let's get through this
of
event
course.
Because right now it's just putting on a hell of an event for the fans. A couple of guys missed weight. We got to make sure it works. So we're in game mode right now. You know what I mean? Like we just got to make this thing work. It's going to be an unbelievable event for everybody out there. If you never watched bare knuckle fighting before, this is the event to watch. I guarantee if you watch it, you're hooked for life. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Knucklemania 2, Saturday, February 19th, live here on FITE TV.
You just got to give them a taste of it. That's all you got to do. You just got to give them that's what the free prelims are for. You got to give them a taste of it. No, it's going to be so big, and obviously the signings that you have made recently have just kind of blown everybody out of the water, and it's all going to come to fruition tomorrow night when Mike Perry steps inside the squared circle. This is a guy that every time you turn on UFC and you knew he was on the card, you're going to check it out just to see what the hell Mike Perry is going to do next, right? Or what he might say after the fight. Right. Well, now it's like he was tailor-made for your organization. It really is, man. He's a bombastic guy. He's very colorful. You have to be over the moon to have him signed, but to see him actually fight tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Well, you said it best. I always said if I could build a guy, after I signed Mike Perry, I said if I could build a guy that I wanted to fight in bare knuckle, it's Mike Perry.
Of course.
It's Mike Perry. He talks a good game. He says anything that's on his mind, and he never has a reverse gear. He comes, he fights. He might not be the most skilled guy in the world on everything, but here's a guy who only knows how to come forward, eats punches, and delivers punches. Exactly what we want at bare knuckle.
And then taking on Julian Lane, who's been kind of a staple for your organization for a while now, always brings the fight, man. There's a ton of highlight reels. The guy just covered in blood, man. He's a warrior. He's a true warrior. One thing that's interesting, and let me get your take on this, because Knucklemania 1, obviously Paige Van Zandt comes in. She gets beat by Britain Hart. But that launches Britain Hart kind of into a new stratosphere, puts her on a road to where she's fighting for a championship, funny enough, on Knucklemania 2 tomorrow night. And could the same thing happen, you think, for a Julian Lane? I mean, if he comes out kind of, I think a lot of people consider it an upset, especially people that aren't really into the sport. They see Mike Perry, they think, oh, he's going to run through him. That's just an Ultimate Fighter guy. Do you think it does the same thing to Julian Lane if he can beat Mike Perry?
I think there's actually three guys on the main four cards that everything could change for them. That's Julian Lane, Fames, and Martin Brown. I mean, if Martin Brown comes over with a victory over Luis Palomino, he's rolling out there. But Fames especially, I think Fames is in a big position right now with Chad Mendez, where he's a strong underdog. A lot of people aren't giving him credit for anything because he came off a very lackluster performance last fight, where he came off a knockout in June. Yeah, read his press clippings and didn't train hard. Right, and he came out and he got it handed to him his last fight, and now he trained as hard as he can. He's ready for Chad Mendez, and it can change his life. But let's go back to Julian Lane. Julian Lane's a guy with 7 or 8 bare knuckle fights. I'm not sure exactly how many he has. He's experienced in this. That's a big advantage for him. I feel like it's a big advantage
think it
for
is
him,
too.
because eating a bare knuckle punch is a lot different than eating a glove punch. So when Mike Perry gets hit, we're going to know everything really in the first, I'd say, 10, 15 seconds of that fight. We're going to know about Mike Perry then. We're going to know how he reacts to that first punch. And if he reacts the way I think he's going to react and throws punches right back, we're in for one hell of a fight.
Yeah, and I think the same could be said for Mendez, because we talked to Sean about this, Wheelock, and he feels like like he thinks Chad's going to be fine. He's prepared for this. But I don't know that anything could prepare you for that. There's been a lot of people that have come from MMA, they come from boxing, and they just can't react. It's a totally different sport. There's different target areas. There's just different everything. You can't come in like treating it an MMA fight. You just can't do it.
No, everything about it's different. And, you know, Chad Mendes, if you go by the way he's hitting the pads and hitting the bag, you're like, wow, this guy's going to be the best in the world. But he's got to get punched and then punch back. So I think he's going to be good at that. I think he's going to be capable of that because he's fought the top guys in the world. Yep. So if he does what I think he's going to be able to do, I think Chad Mendes is going to have a really good night here tomorrow night.
Undercard. What excites you on the undercard?
Women's fight. We have a local girl named Christine Vinces fighting Jane Masan Wong from Canada.
Yep.
She came off a really good victory. That's going to be a great fight. Yuli Diaz is fighting one of our bare knuckle veterans that fought in Montana. He's 1-0. I think that's going to be a great fight as well. Sawyer DeP, I believe his name is, and there's so many. Look, it's bare knuckle. It doesn't matter really. Right?
God, it really doesn't matter.
As long as they're trained professional athletes
it's so true.
This, and they're ready to go 5 rounds. It doesn't matter who's fighting who. It's going to be a great fight. But these ones specifically tomorrow night are matched for nonstop excitement the whole entire night. This is going to be the biggest night in bare knuckle fighting history, the biggest night in bare knuckle fighting championship history, and a really, really big night for combat sports in 2022.
Let me ask you: is there anything you can like? You've broke news with us before. Is there any other news you could break here? Because we like breaking news. You know, I don't know.
I wish I could, but I
keep it close to the chest.
I got a major signing.
A major signing
that everybody is going to be very shocked. Two major signings. One's for the organization and one's a fighter. So 2 big things popping in the next 10 days, and you know, we're just going to keep climbing. We're going to keep doing things. You know, aside from Fight TV, just on the rights channels that we do. All over the world, we're going to be live in 60 different countries, from nothing, nowhere, to 60 different countries. It's really unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it certainly is. Let me real quick before I let you go. You talked about this last second stuff. I think everybody likes to get into the mind of what a promoter has to deal with, or maybe they think they know, but they don't really know. What's going on right now in your phone? What kind of fires you put out right now? I can only imagine.
A couple guys missed weight. A couple guys are mad about this. They're mad about that. A medical isn't turned in. You know, a little thing's wrong with the ring. Everything gets fixed.
The interviewer needs a T-shirt. You know what I mean?
Everything gets fixed, but at the end of the day, man, they don't understand what goes on behind the scenes, which is they're not supposed to. They're supposed to see a very polished, finished product. So they're not supposed to see what goes on behind the scenes. But it's not an easy job, and we work our butts off, me and the team, to give a great product, and we always deliver a great product.
Well, proud to be on the team. Mr. David Feldman, folks, president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. It all happens tomorrow night. If you haven't bought the pay-per-view, now is the time. Just get it locked in so you don't have to worry about it, and then watch it wherever you want to watch it, and make sure you don't miss Knucklemania 2. 6:30, it starts the prelims. It all happens live here from Hollywood, Florida. And this is Mr. David Feldman. Thank you so much, my friend. More FITE In Focus coming next.
The biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Britain Hart for the 2nd time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendes makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Fames. Saturday, February 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we join viewers from around the world, Illinois Promotions present Muay Thai for Life. You're the big, make some noise! You're okay.
Senshi. The battles between the best continue. Fighters from all around the world will compete under the KWU Full Contact and KWU Senshi rules. More than 20 combat sports champions will fight in the one-of-a-kind glamorous gala fight night, Senshi. Witness the exciting clashes live on FITE, Max Sport 1, or online at senshi.com, boes.bg, boes.com, kwunion.com, and Kyokushin Karate News. And live on Bulgaria On Air TV. February 26th, 1 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. EET. Senshi, Clash of the Titans.
Hi, I'm Josh Chernoff from FITE TV, and this is my action figure by Cello Toys. Now you can recreate all your favorite Josh Chernoff moments, like that time Darby Allin wouldn't talk to me, or that time Matt Cardona wouldn't give me the information I asked for.
Right.
Tell us, why are you here?
Well, I'm not going to reveal that information to you, Josh.
With 3 points of articulation and a realistic scale when next to non-retro style figures, and an astonishingly unrealistic scale when next to your favorite Hasbros. Hey, who put that snake on me? Get the Josh Chernoff FITE exclusive action figure by Cello Toys. Available now at SoSaysChernoff.com.
And welcome back to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino, the Hard Rock Live, as we get ready for the weigh-ins for Knucklemania 2. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship Knucklemania 2 is tomorrow night. Prelim starting at 6:30. And, of course, star-studded card, to say the absolute least. And I'm saying goodbye with Helen Yee. And, Helen, obviously you've been covering the sport here for a while. And big part of Bare Knuckle, you guys are out here covering. And there is so much buzz about this event, more than there ever has been. I mean, when Paige jumped over here, it was a big deal. But this is even bigger, I think. I think if you look up and down this card, it is so stacked. There's going to be so many great fights.
Absolutely, and you just mentioned her, Paige Van Zandt, and that fight against Rachel Ostovich. I mean, that one, they represented the women well. And speaking of women, yesterday in the press conference, I mean, those women, like, I'm super excited for that fight and for the belt on the line. I mean, what more can you ask for? You know, it was intensity, it was fierce, and as far as entertainment, I mean, Mike Perry bringing the plastic bat.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what you have to do.
The bat heard around the world. Yeah.
And the mouthpiece, right? The mouthpiece gate. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Speaking of the women, I think it really is amazing with this being the sport that it is. And you tune into bare knuckle, you're going to see blood. You know, it's rough. It's bare knuckles. Yeah. But it seems like the women have gravitated towards it. We've gotten so many great fighters that have made the jump. And I think maybe that surprised people initially, but it seems like they absolutely love it here. They love fighting here. And it's just they embrace the violence of it all. And we have new stars like Taylor Starling and Britton Hart and Christine Ferreira and so many great fighters. What have you thought about this whole women's revolution that's in bare knuckle? It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I completely agree. And with what you said, there's so many more women that are kind of coming over to bare knuckle. And like I just mentioned, we saw that with Rachel Ostovich versus Paige Van Zandt. I mean, I know we expected a great fight, but I think that exceeded everyone's expectations. I mean, that was so great. And there's no doubt that tomorrow the fight against the women, I mean, that's going to be another banger for sure. But I think it's just showing the women continuing to evolve, you know, from obviously boxing, MMA, to now bare knuckle, and seeing that, hey, women, we could do it just as good, if not better.
Do you think there's any fighters out there, just, you know, as a fan, as covering the sport, in the UFC or in boxing, that you think could make the jump over here and could be successful?
You know what? Well, because someone said it in the press conference yesterday that I think it was Chad Mendes that he said there were even some UFC fighters that were like, damn, like I could never do bare knuckle. Yeah, like
hard pass.
Like it's a different animal. But then you see like Paige Van Zandt, Rachel Ostovich, they find success in that even when Artem Lobov, came over and whatnot. So in terms of who I think will be a good woman, someone I know had success in a lot of combat sports, boxing and MMA, Holly Holm.
Wow.
Just throwing that out there. Not saying she would come over because, I've never asked her that, but maybe I should.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should. I would love to see Holly Holm here. There, Amanda Nunes. So many big names, right?
Yeah,
that would
Amanda's a local.
Cyborg. We could put Cyborg in here.
Yeah, why not? I think what bare knuckle presents is something so different than what we see in boxing and MMA, and without having gloves, it's a whole different sport. And someone who could find a lot of success in boxing and MMA, they may not find it as much in bare knuckle, but someone who may not be as dominant in the other combat sports could find and be very dominant in bare knuckle. So it's like a sport where you never know, but what you do know is it's guaranteed violence, guaranteed blood, and guaranteed to be a fun night for sure.
No, it really is, and it's almost like, there has to be a fear. Like you said, there's a fear of getting into that squared circle. And these are people that get locked inside of a cage and fight with gloves. But to get in there and to fight bare knuckle, it's like it's a whole nother level of violence. And only a few people are willing to kind of make that jump into bare knuckle, which makes it so exciting. Because when we do get a big signing, it's like, oh, okay, great. Like, this is really a big deal. Is there anything on this card other like the title fights? Obviously, Luis Palomino. I love this guy.
Yeah, I saw the interviews that the Schmo did.
And humble and chill and just such a cool guy. But he's like found this new career where he just runs bare knuckle. Like he's killing it, right?
It seems like he and Martin, they have quite a bit of history, and there's some intensity going at it. And everybody on the press conference yesterday, I think you could just like feel it, you could feel the energy in the room, and they're gonna go at it tomorrow night, and it's gonna be a lot of blood. So as far as the whole card, I know Uli Monster, I always love watching him fight, even though you probably shouldn't blink, because if you do, you'll probably miss his
Because you corrected Schmo in 3 seconds.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
3, not 7 seconds.
That's the fastest ever.
And that's like a big difference. That 4 seconds, when you're talking about a knockout.
A lot can happen in 4 seconds.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ulima, that's undercard. There's some great undercard fighters. Escoboza is a guy that steps up. Bostwick, so many big names even on the undercard here. Because really, when Knucklemania comes around, they pull everybody in. Bring all the biggest names. And then they're getting ready to go to New York and so many big events. So I'm excited about it. Is there anything, going forward that you're excited about with bare knuckle? Where do you think this thing could land? Do you think we could be in a big stadium one day? I feel like it's possible with this show.
Oh, absolutely. And we talk about all the big signings and the debuts of Mike Perry tomorrow and Chad Mendes. I see that there is really no limit to how big that Knucklemania can become, because I remember kind of the inception, the early days, and seeing how fast it's grown in so little time. It's incredible to see, and it's a brand new type of sport, and we often forget how young it is still. So I feel like it can definitely, become way bigger, and the sky's the limit.
No doubt about it. And of course, you're on all kinds of stuff. You do a lot of different things. Tell us how everybody can find you. I know you hosted with the Schmo, and where's all the places they can find you right now, Helen?
They can find me at Helen Yee Sports, and I love all combat sports, love pro wrestling. I love it all. Just, love.
We could talk wrestling for a while, yeah.
Yeah, pro wrestling, yeah. I was literally addicted, like Monday Night Raw, Tuesday night ECW. Thursday was TNA Impact at the time, and then Friday night SmackDown, Sunday night the hour rerun. I read all the underground forums, all the rumor reports. I cried.
Are you hearing this, Josh Chernoff? She is just 100% on the wrestling wagon. It's amazing.
And I've heard, congrats to The Undertaker, one of my favorites. He will be inducted in April in Dallas, and maybe we'll see Stone Cold back. I might have to drink a couple beers with him, so.
Yeah, just throw those cans together, right?
Oh, I've already done it. I just need to do it with him, so I'm going to hunt him down during WrestleMania.
Helen Yee, thank you so much for joining us. We got more Fight in Focus here from the Seminole Hard Rock. Knucklemania 2 weigh-ins going down right after this. Don't go anywhere. Right here on Fight. Welcome back here on FITE In Focus. We are here getting ready for the Knucklemania 2 weigh-ins. This man is about to do that exact thing. Official weigh-ins about to happen directly after FITE In Focus, so you certainly don't want to miss that. You'll be able to watch that live and free right here on FITE. And I'm standing by here, Sawyer DeP. You are going to be matched up against Julie Diaz in the prelims of Knucklemania 2, man. And just think, you just made your debut with the company not too long ago, like a few months ago, right? Yeah. And then here you are going against the guy with the fastest knockout in bare knuckle history, Julie Diaz. Man, what a wild roller coaster ride it's been for you, bro.
It's a huge step up. I'm excited for it. I mean, he's a monster. His name reflects everything. He's been super nice to me. But I just got to stay away from him for the first round. I got to stay away from him so he don't hit me with that big overhand right.
So that's the plan. Just
stay away from the big overhand right. That thing will take me out.
Completely understandable. Let me ask you this, because I've never really talked to somebody that has had just that one fight. What was the feeling like, man, when you stepped inside that squared circle? You'd done other combat sports, but it's different, man. It's just a whole other level. We talked about it with David Feldman, Sean Wheelock. It's a different sport.
It's a
completely
whole different feeling. Like MMA, it's whoever's the best athlete. Here, it's the best athlete who can grind the hardest. So it's a whole new realm of things. It's not just who can pay the most for the best.
Yeah, and you have to be willing to take the punishments. You know what I mean?
That is true.
And even we talked about how you hit somebody when you're hitting them bare knuckle, and how your body reacts to that as well, just landing punches on somebody. Everything's different.
Yeah, it's a whole different feeling, like the shock when you hit somebody. It doesn't feel like a glove, or like anything gloved I've ever done. So
yeah,
I kind of got addicted to it the last time. I didn't get hit the last time, though, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, that's a good plan. So you didn't get hit last time, and you plan on not getting hit this time, right? I mean,
I plan on getting hit a whole lot this time.
So, Knucklemania, this is a flagship event for us. This is a big milestone event. We've already had one, Knucklemania 1. It was made a ton of headlines. Knucklemania 2. It's pretty sick to be on the Knucklemania 2 card when you got Mike Perry headlining this thing, Chad Mendez, 2 world title fights. Like, does that kind of amp it up a little bit, add a little bit more pressure? It's like, dang, I'm on the biggest show of the year here.
Yeah, it adds a lot of pressure. It brings a lot of the nerves out. Oh, it brings a lot of the nerves out. First time doing this. But it's exciting. It's brought a lot out in me the last couple of weeks that I haven't had to see in Montana. So
yeah, is there any fight that you're seeing on the card that you really just want to see, kind of as a fan, man?
Chad Mendez.
Yeah,
I want to see Chad Mendez. Fuck that.
Do you kind of have a feeling like Chad's just get to steamroll him? Like, is that what's kind of going through your mind?
Chad looks like a monster right now. Like, all his training videos, everything, I would not want to be touched by him.
Seems like he needs to be out in Montana with you, bro. Like, he loves the wilderness. Like, that's where he wants to be.
Come out. It'd be fun.
I'm sure you could take him around. I'm sure he would appreciate it. This dude's like complete outdoors. I had no idea that Mendez was like about that life, but he 100% is.
Yeah, a couple years ago we were shooting the same bow, and I followed him on Facebook just because of that. I didn't really know who it was. I don't watch UFC or anything, and then I found out he's huge and he's on here, and I was like, fuck.
Well, what combat sports did you watch? Did you pay attention to any of it, like on television?
Not really.
No?
I've never really watched sports. I didn't watch pro football growing up. Nothing like that.
So were you just getting in fights all the time or something? Like, how the hell did you get to bare knuckle then? Like, were you just like in bars, like alleys, like fields? Like, it's Montana. I mean, fields. I don't know.
I fought in fields. I fought in mountains, barns. I fought everywhere.
Was it like unsanctioned? It was like underground stuff, or was it just like getting in fights?
We don't have a commission there, so I fought for
the Wild West of Montana. Yes. Who needs a commission anyways?
Screw it. Wild West. I mean, I fought for Fusion. I fought for RCC and a couple other fight corporations or leagues over there.
Yeah.
But before that, yeah, it was just high school fighting. I grew up loving it and never got away from it. And then I wrestled until college, and that's where I usually put it all. And after that, turned to fighting.
Do you even think about like where you could get with this company? Has it kind of crossed your mind, like, oh man, I want to fight for a title, or I want to do this? Like, what's the motivator at this point?
My motivator is I just want to show up a fight. I don't give a shit about.
But get paid's cool too.
Getting paid is cool. I'd do it for free.
And then you could spend it here too once you get paid.
Don't remind me. We're in a big ass casino. I'd rather go home with some money.
Yeah, I hope you do, Jen. I'll try to pull you away from the table if I can. Sawyer, man. Yuli Diaz tomorrow, prelims. You don't want to miss this, man. He's got the boots, man. The boots are representing. You'll see him at the weigh-ins directly after FITE In Focus. I think it starts right at 6, I believe. Don't miss those weigh-ins for Knucklemania 2. There are going to be fireworks. I don't know if they're going to be fireworks from Sawyer. They might be. I mean, he may come out and just rush his guy. I don't know. You'll have to find out and watch. You'll be able to watch it live and free. Do not miss it. And, of course, Knucklemania 2, it's not free, but you can watch it tomorrow night, and I want you to order that right now just so you can see my guy Sawyer, man. He's coming out here to open a lot of eyes and become a star here with Bare Knuckle, so we're very excited about it. Knucklemania 2 right here on FITE In Focus. We'll be back. One more interview coming at you.
The biggest bare knuckle event ever, Knucklemania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Faria knuckles up with Britain Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendez makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Fames. Saturday, February 19th.
And welcome back to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Hard Rock Live, the site of the Knucklemania 2 weigh-ins. And, of course, Hard Rock Casino, the site of Knucklemania 2 tomorrow night. Brian Sosha, you see him on the post-fight interviews, the podcast. He's all over the place here with Bare Knuckle. And, man, you know, you've been with this company for quite a while now, and you've seen the evolution. You've seen how big this thing has gotten. Has it kind of surprised you? Like when you joined up, you're like, oh, this is cool, but did you think it would –
Didn't shock me at all.
It didn't shock you at all?
Here's why. Because
Okay.
without sounding arrogant, when I joined up here, I remember going home to my wife. I sat across from Dave Feldman, and he told me the concept years ago.
Okay.
And I said to my wife, I'm like, this is going to be huge.
Of course.
And I'm excited to watch the growth. And I always say that if you come to one of these events, even if you watch it on the app, definitely, but when you come to it, you hear it. It's different. It's not like a MMA. It's not.
No.
It's 5 2-minute rounds, constant action. I mean, you can't beat it, dude. No, it doesn't shock me at all. I'm just
Yeah.
happy to be here and be a part of it.
Yeah, I had my in-laws who do not care at all for fighting, and I came down, and this is funny because I told you we met before. It was at the Ostovich-Van Zant fight. I was here doing this or whatever, FITE In Focus. I'm sure we shook hands, but it's all good. It's okay that you didn't remember me. I'm part of the team now. Now you got to deal with me every event.
Listen, if you have a Knucklemania shirt on, I like you. It's a beautiful shirt. I'm happy
It
you're
is.
here. I don't even know my own name half the time with these events. I'm working so hard.
All
So
right.
don't be upset with me, please.
It's
an
fine.
honor. Look, watch this. Let me kiss your ring. You Italian?
I am not. I am not, if you can't tell. All right, that being said, Knucklemania, what excites you the most, man? Obviously, you get in there, you're knocking out post-fight interviews, you're in the middle of all of it. What really excites you?
It excites me the toe the line concept that you're start out 3 feet apart from each other. And I mean, there's nowhere to run. We saw Yuli Diaz, who's on the card, coming up tomorrow night.
Bink.
3 seconds?
3 seconds.
I think he got ripped off. I think it was less than that. I do. The bell was ringing as the guy hit the mat. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So it excites me when they start because it's constant action. You know that, and you can't run. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
That makes me happy, and I really enjoy just I'll shout out matchmaker Nate Shook. The matches are always good. We always say that this is the best card we've ever had. And it sounds like we're selling it, but it's true. We believe that in the office.
So is this the best card we've ever had?
It's Knucklemania 2, bros. Actually, hold on. It's Knucklemania 2. That's how we have to say it, right?
Yeah,
So
Knucklemania.
That hurts my voice when I do that.
Yeah.
Well, I do this voice, which kills me. But it is. It truly is. And because Knucklemania, we're starting to hang our hat on this event every year. I mean, Chad Mendez debut, you can't beat that. He looks amazing. I told Chad I wouldn't own a shirt, even if it was a Knucklemania shirt, if I was Chad Mendez. The guy's huge. And then Mike Perry, Julian Lane, 2 loose cannons. You don't know what's going on there.
Yep.
And then you got the first ever female flyweight women's title, Britain Hart and Kristen Faria. The fans want to see that forever.
Yep.
Then Martin Smash Brown taking on Luis Palomino, which I think, I just know what you think, toughest to date, toughest challenger to date.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah, no, I think so too. And I think, I watched the press conference, the way they interacted. very laid back, but he knows what's at stake. Martin Brown does.
He does.
But Luis is feeling this stuff, man. He's in a good place right now.
Pound for pound, the best fighter, right? He's saying.
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible. I've loved to see his evolution from where he came in MMA to where he's at now. He's embraced it, man, and that's what it takes. You have to embrace this sport for what it is. You can't just pop in here and pop out
No, we find it out quick. Matter of fact, I will throw this out there. Chad Mendes has been absolutely wonderful to be with, and he's been incredible as far as promoting the fight. He loves being here. But he made a comment to me that made me nervous. He said that he thinks getting hit with a glove, like an MMA glove, is the same as a bare knuckle. That hurts. It's not. It's not at all. My opinion.
Who said this now?
Chad Mendes in an interview.
Chad Mendes said that?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not ideal. All right, quick sell. All right, we're going to close this out, Fighting Focus, but I'm going to give it to Brian because I know this guy can sell. Give us a quick sell why they have to get Knucklemania 2 tomorrow night.
Because it's Knucklemania 2, baby. It's the biggest event of the year. I say it's the biggest event in sports because, look, you watch other stuff, it's boring. Look, you might like football. They hit every now and then. We hit constantly. This is it. $4.99 to grab it, and you can get it on Fight as well. And either way, make sure you're tuned in. I think it's the best value in combat sports.
There it is, Brian Sosha. Thank you to everybody that stopped in. I just took him out. I'm Cyrus Streets. We'll see you next time on Fight in Focus.
Thanks, Cyrus.